complaints do you get on a weekly basis about people slapping their mamas because your food is so good?
Well, fortunately, I don't get very many. Because I know I cannot slap my mother.
We are back at by Terrebonne Distillers for another week of Between the Barrels, and we're super excited because this week we got the hog father himself, the pit boss, Mr. Big Mike in the house. Man, I'm so pumped up.
What's going on, Big Mike?
I don't know if you can tell or not,
Yeah.
but I can eat. And I love to eat, and I love some food. Boy, I love me some Big Mike's barbecue.
Nothing about your physique told me that. Nothing
I
about it.
appreciate your honesty, man.
Hey, I like Big Mike's too, man. Just to let you know, bro, I appreciate your stuff you're doing. You have some real tasty burgers, and I like it, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. One of the first questions I gotta ask you is, how many complaints do you get on a weekly basis about people slapping their mamas because your food is so good?
Well, fortunately, I don't get very many. Because I know I cannot slap my mother.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But you know that old saying, that's so good you slap your mama. And
Oh, you're not slapping my mother.
no,
I'm sorry.
ain't nobody touching
See,
my mama.
my mama's slapping back. You know?
My mama
But
takes some teeth out.
yeah, exactly. But I think people feel like they want to slap
Oh
their
man,
mama.
you pumping out some good stuff over there.
We do our best, man.
Yeah, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start it off like I do every episode. Who are you and what do you do?
Well, I'm Mike from Big Mike's Barbecue. We smoke meat. I mean, self-explanatory, right? Big Mike's. Matter of fact, we gave ourselves two barbecue names: Big Mike's Barbecue Smokehouse. Right? We didn't know what to call
So
ourselves.
you do barbecue and you smoke meat.
Make sure you cover all the bases.
Cover all the bases. So any smoked meats, everything on the pig, and that we can smoke in house, and we do brisket, turkey, we do all the good stuff, man.
Man, I tell you what, all phenomenal stuff.
That turkey's phenomenal.
That turkey's probably one of my favorite things on the menu is that smoked turkey and that brisket.
I hear that a lot, man. People love it.
Because normally you would go for the regulars, right? The ribs,
Barbecue
the
brisket, the pulled
brisket, the
pork.
chicken, the pulled pork. That's barbecue staples.
Like a staple. But that
But-
turkey, man. You know what I realized too, and we didn't know? That you could go there and they could slice it and cut it for you to go.
Oh yeah,
Like
definitely.
they'll cut the, and like we were like, what? So this is our sandwich meat.
People will come in there and get 2-3 pounds and
Really?
use it throughout the week.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
using a sliced
Yeah.
turkey. It's
A lot of people hear turkey and they kind of shy away from it. Because I think we can all agree turkey is usually not the best for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
right.
You
Yeah, it's
know,
kind of dry
Can
usually.
dry it out very easily, stuff like that.
What we're told is it's not dry and people
not.
love the flavor. So we do sell a lot of it.
Yeah,
I have not
was.
had a dry piece of turkey at your restaurant.
Cool.
I will tell you that. And
It's my wife's favorite over there.
it's
the turkey
always
sandwich.
full of flavor, as is all your stuff that you pump out of there.
We're good because that's the first thing we wanted to do when we opened up a business: cook good food.
That's it.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody goes into it saying like, let's do this horribly.
Yeah, we'll just make bad food.
Yeah, we do our best. Yeah.
The simple question, I guess, would be why barbecue? What made Mike want to start cooking barbecue? What got you into it? And how did you actually become the pit master that you are,
I love grilling, man. Or anybody that knows me can tell you that this is what I was born to do.
Right.
I love doing it. We use a combination of smoking and grilling in the restaurant. That's what we do to the baby backs. We smoke them, then we grill them off, sauce them, kind of let them caramelize a little bit. I think I chose it, man, because it's like the most natural way to cook. And to me, it came natural. I think it comes natural for most people cooking,
Right.
There's
We
no
enjoy
easier way to cook than putting protein over a direct fire. My first job was actually at a pizza joint, right? But that was short. I mean, I worked there for 4 years.
And that was where? That was back when you were in Tampa?
I was in
Okay.
Tampa. I was a 16-year-old kid.
What else you need, right?
$6.25 an hour, man. I was a high roller. So that was my first job. But my very next job was at Steak and Ale. You remember Steak and Ale?
I remember, yeah, I do.
That was like the Outback of its day.
Right, yeah. It was a chain, national chain.
Yeah, it was. They own Bennigan's and a few other restaurants that I don't think really are around anymore. But that was my start on the grill, and just the adrenaline of working on a Friday or Saturday night, banging out 400 or 500 steaks. and cutting, 8-10 prime rib loins. Like, it's like an adrenaline rush,
It was like, this is what I want to do on Saturdays.
Yeah,
It was
man.
the passion for
Man, look, there's nothing like that. That's not for everybody to be banging out that kind of volume. But we worked at a very high volume steakhouse in Tampa, and man, it was beautiful. And that's really where I got my start, really messing with the grill. And
So the fire started inside you, actually, right?
man,
Fire from the grill jumped in.
I would probably give, I don't know about my arm, but at least a finger to go back to some high volume steakhouse and bang out on the grill on a Friday.
Come on,
Saturday.
really?
Just to have just a good weekend.
Man, look, see these young guys, bro? Man, look.
go work at an Outback or something. Just
Man,
let
look,
it-
there
let
ain't
it
enough
loose.
volume, bro. This is not. I mean,
They don't make them like they used to.
I'm telling you, man, I come from an era of bangers. You know what I'm saying? And that's really where the passion was built. You know, what's funny is the regional manager for that company, I went and worked for in another company several years after working there, and I'm still friends with him today. We talk on Facebook all the time.
Wow.
And I followed him to another big company called Bahama Breeze, which is a Caribbean restaurant.
Okay.
And I was a grill guy there, and I mean this is a place that does on a Friday night $40,000 or $50,000 in sales, and in a month there's nothing to do $1 million.
So they're turning tables.
They're turning tables. There's not very many restaurants that can say that they're banging out $1 million a month.
Established like that, right.
And those kind of jobs, man, really take some dedicated people.
You
Yeah.
definitely can't be half-assing those kind of.
No, you got to
places.
put your whole
You gotta-
life into it.
You got to be
Man,
passionate
look,
about it.
No,
Because it's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work. I mean, no kidding, man. We would have guys come in there and from culinary school, or guys that's trying to make this a career, man, and see the volume and like, man, I don't know if I can I can do this thing. But for me, it was not just about the cooking; it was about the adrenaline of the volume, and
Right. Turning it out.
turning it out.
How much you could put out in a night and stuff like that. It's kind of gets that competition side of you going.
You know what? I never really thought about it that way, but you're right. It's competition, but not with anybody else. It's
Right,
competition
with yourself.
Just with yourself, being competitive.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Like I say, it's a different breed back in that day, and just going in, that was the challenge for the day. Like, I'm not going to let this grill printer beat me. You know what I'm saying? So that was my passion for it.
That was it. That's how it
And you know
started.
what? You say that, and you think about like all the famous grill masters and pit bosses and stuff, and it's all old school guys with that, with the same mentality, just that passion for grilling. Let's just pump it out. Let's get some good food out.
Oh yeah, man, these guys out here are serious. I've been going to Memphis in May for the past 4 or 5, maybe 6 years. But man, these guys are about it.
It's serious.
Yeah, it's serious. I mean, I like to have fun with it. Some of these guys are, you go to Memphis in May and, 2 or 3 nights before the actual competition, everybody's partying,
Right.
having a good time. But when it comes to competition day, man, it's
Serious stuff. It's the World
Every
Series
man
of
for
barbecue.
himself.
It's the World
Yeah.
Series of barbecue.
look, it's all hands on deck, So
You go out with the guys from the Shed, right?
The Shed,
So,
yeah.
Shed
Yeah.
in Mississippi, right?
If you don't
Yeah.
know about that, you might want to take a ride out there.
yeah,
That's some good food.
Yeah, those are my buddies up in Mississippi. They're passionate about the circuit of competition, and I usually tag along. It's a big undertaking. I'd rather be the soldier than the general in something that big. You know what I'm
Makes
saying?
Tell me what to
Right,
cook, man.
right.
Yeah, tell me what to cook. And,
Show me what to do. I can do it.
Yeah,
I wanna put all this together.
exactly. I'll be the general back home, but
Right, yeah.
when I'm on the road, I just want to be a cadet, man. You know?
Try to tone it down a little bit because you're constantly the general. 2 different places out here, actually.
Look, honestly, the cool part about going on the road like that is honestly getting a chance to be the cadet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
You don't have to worry about making all the calls and stuff like that.
Well, for me, it's not even that. I want to be the employee that I want to be
I got you.
for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
You get
like-
a chance to live that out.
Exactly.
That
like,
makes sense.
Let me show you what you should be like when you work for somebody. It's an opportunity to be in those shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So live it out.
So that's why I like going out there every year.
Showing your hard work and your passion for the cook. All right, so I got a question, and then I've kind of been It's something that I've been dabbling in, and I know it's a hot topic in some competitions and things like that. Pellet smokers. What is your feelings on pellet smokers?
Look, these days we can't escape opinions, but at the end of the day, it's wood, it's meat, it's smoke. There's nothing wrong with it. And there's a lot of good grills out there today. Shout out to my guys at RecTech. Those guys, let me tell you, I know the folks that started RecTech, and there's several out there. Their product is phenomenal. And what I love about pellet smokers is that they have the augers
that's my thing.
Right, that can dispense the
keep the heat up and
exactly
not losing that heat.
And also everything's Bluetooth.
Correct.
And where
you go take a nap.
You can go take a nap. but now, granted, you can't use that in a commercial setting.
No.
Right.
You know, it wasn't designed. It was designed for the guy who's at home who wants to do barbecue without doing a whole bunch of
sit
work.
there sweating all night long.
You don't have to do it, man. They really make some good products. You don't have to work like a barbarian in order to get good food. I mean, if the technology is there, use it, right?
Keep up with the time.
You got that. You don't have that fear of losing that heat.
Right, exactly.
Because I'm sure you can tell me many stories of fires going out or getting too hot or.
Well, there's been a few times I slept a little too long.
It happens to all of us,
And I've gone back to the restaurant when in the days we were using those stick burners, and I was always able to be there in just enough time to get it going without a big to do. Like you take a lid or something, fan,
Right.
It didn't go all the way out.
It wasn't like crazy where you had to oh my God, we got to get fire extinguishers or suppression system.
No. I mean, we did have a building burned down, but it had nothing to do with the barbecue.
Speaking of that, real quick, what'd you learn from that happening? Not only as a business, but also as a person of like your dream, like you saw it basically like it's happening, and then oh my God, it went down. Now what do I got to do as a person to build it back up?
That's a good question. Honestly, I think no big tragedy is the last page of the book.
The end all.
Right. It's it's just it's a trial that you go through till you get to the next thing. Look, at the end of the day, I woke up the next morning, right?
Thank God.
Right, exactly.
Hey, I'm alive and I can do something different.
Exactly. Yeah, and the old saying, there ain't nothing to it but to do it. It's true. So you get up the next morning and you just do whatever it takes to get back to operating or where you were at. But you can't let the event dictate what happens next.
That's awesome.
Right, you just gotta keep going.
Keep that spirit up of
Can't
why.
let it keep you down.
Right, why I'm gonna make it, why I'm gonna make good barbecue. I'm gonna keep rolling with it.
Keep rolling, man.
Nothing's gonna hold me down.
Look, as long as people knock on the door at 11 o'clock in the morning, we rolling. As long as people are willing to come and support you, and that's a reason to get up.
Well, I'm excited, to see what happens next, and definitely for the new location and stuff like that. It's gonna be cool.
Look, we're excited about the new location. Of course, COVID came along and kind of derailed us temporarily, but like I said earlier, we just keep moving forward, and whatever happens next happens. But our goal is to give Homa like the best restaurant we can.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Cannot wait, man.
Yeah, and
Because that Thibodeau one looks. I mean, not
No,
wrong with what you got in Homa. I love the signed wall. I think it's great and all. But
Yeah, look.
that little bar you got in Thibodeau, man, that thing is nice. Man.
It is very nice. On a Friday night, it can get pretty busy. Our goal is to do the best we can to make people want to come to the bar.
Yes.
By, having good drinks and
Live
great
music, I think.
live music.
Yeah, man, the Thibodeau location is really cool. Like you said, to have people come who want to come out.
And there's a good atmosphere in there.
Yeah,
I
for
really
sure.
like it.
It does. Now, I mean, honestly, the Homa location will be built pre-COVID. Well, I say pre. We're still in COVID, right?
Unfortunately, yeah. Some people are still in COVID.
But what that means is that we're going to build it to be more open, to be, our ideas of it is just to kind of keep the natural landscape of what's already there.
Right.
We're not trying to build some refined building.
Right.
We want to almost feel like you can take your shoes off when you go
Just
in.
kind of tweak what they got there.
Yeah, leave all the live oak trees and man, just One of
cool
our
ass place to go eat barbecue.
cool ass place, man. Like, you know, one of the things we want to do is put a container, like a shipping container there.
Right.
As the bar.
Right, y'all could do like the inside, make it. Yeah, because those are big right now. Man, you could actually like take one and stack one if you want to get big time.
Kind of Destin style. Or
Right,
beaches
right. A
and
little
stuff.
beach style Destin.
Now look, I don't tell too many people my lifelong goals, but I'll tell you guys this
I
thing.
appreciate that.
Look, no one else is watching. It's just me and Manny right here. We
Look,
got our
Just,
producers and a couple of
us
friends.
Us and the two barrels, man.
So I want to. I'm 44 now, which is old, man.
No, it's not. I'm 42,
Yeah.
man. Man, you good, man.
So you're old.
You're old too, man.
But of course,
Most days of the week I am, bro.
of course, there's a 52-year-old guy out there and a 62-year-old guy going to say, "What are you talking about?"
Right.
But
And I know what you're talking about.
Right, like I've never been able to tell somebody older that I'm old, right?
Right,
Like, it's
absolutely.
that's how it goes. But at the end of the day, one of my biggest goals is to be the old drunk guy, like 70 years old in the corner, like, you know, he owns this place. Right? So
That's awesome.
They're like, not that guy over there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that dude is the owner.
the incoherent guy.
That guy
Yeah.
makes, like, if you
Right.
could get him sober for a minute, he could kill some barbecue.
Right, exactly.
That's awesome.
So that's my goal. That's
Man, that's a good
That's
goal.
a little bar, isn't it? Yeah.
Good luck to it, brother.
Cheers to that, dude.
Good,
Yeah,
man.
That's my goal too.
Yeah. Look, everybody wants something that, you know, that outlives them, right? And,
Yes.
and if
Leave a legacy, bro.
Exactly. So if it's Big Mike's, so be it. You know?
I think he will.
You have some. You have kids.
Oh yeah.
Some little big mics.
Some little mics to be big.
Flipping some ribs. You know.
We'll have to see on that one.
Okay.
You know, I
Let
think
me know in a couple of years.
my son might actually want a job. So we'll see.
Do something a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we'll see what happens.
All right. So originally you're from Tampa, Florida, right?
Yep, I am.
We know that. You kind of mentioned that before. You
Yep.
pizza guy in Tampa.
Steak and ale. That's where he cut them teeth.
Really?
Cut the teeth. That's where it all started is in Tampa. What brought you from Tampa, home of Louisiana?
Two things, and true story.
Okay.
I wanted to get away from, might be more than two things, but well, I'd say first and foremost, my dad was older, so I wanted to come hang out with him.
He was here.
He was here. My dad's born and raised here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a transplant. Like my family from my dad's side is from here. My mom's side of the family is from Tallahassee,
Okay.
Florida. So don't ask me how. Somehow that equals Tampa. But anyways, so I was born and raised in Tampa, but I've been coming to Houma since I was 5. I moved here to hang out with my dad and open up Big Mike's Barbecue. I didn't know it was Big Mike's Barbecue at the time.
But you wanted to open up a barbecue
You
restaurant.
knew you wanted barbecue.
Yeah, man, it's something about grilling that's just cool to me, you know. And,
Yeah, I know. But we love to cook
yeah.
outside. I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
So what made you want to open the restaurant in Houma, not anywhere else, other than your dad being here?
at the time that I came here, there was probably one barbecue restaurant, so I was like, that's wide open.
Yeah,
you know?
right. For sure.
And,
We didn't have much.
whereas in Tampa, there's probably a barbecue restaurant every other corner. When I came along, there was one barbecue restaurant, and that was Smoking Joe. He was off the bayou.
Yep.
And he had been around a while. As a matter of fact, the real story of it is that I came here in 1999. So I asked my dad, I'm like, you know, I'm a big barbecue fan. I'm like, Pop, where can I go get barbecue? And he told me. So I went, and when I got there, they were closed. And I thought, so we left home or to go back to Tampa that night, and the whole way there, I'm like, there's no barbecue restaurant there.
Right.
And, you know, my brain's spinning. You know, it's like an 11-hour trip to Tampa.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I'm going there to open up a barbecue restaurant, right? I got home. That was in 99. I actually came back in 2007 to do it.
Wow.
So it was like 8 years later.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the real story.
Well,
And so you came back with a plan, pen and a plan. Let's go.
I
You're rolling
tell you
out.
what, thank you to Dad and Smoking Joe Barbecue
Right.
for bringing
Whatever else got you
Big
back
Mike's
here.
to the Terrebonne Parish area because
Yeah.
I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, he was closed that day, man. I was like, I got to come back and see if I can fill this void, you know?
And speaking of eating, you're half Cajun.
Yep.
That's what you say. What's your favorite Cajun dish?
Man, that's a tough question, but I'm gonna go with etouffee. But I know you asked me for one. say what's your favorite, but I could also go for white beans, rice, and catfish. Like,
That's a solid one.
Ooh, wait, man, I'm scratching my cheek and I'm like, man, some thin fried catfish with some good white beans.
man, thick, thin. Man, I don't care.
Don't matter.
Catfish. Just make sure it's out the bayou, man. I don't want no stuff from somewhere else.
You know, yeah, right.
I love
fry that up thick.
I'm telling you, man. Look, there's, in my opinion, there's no better meal than a really good cooked etouffee or a catfish plate with some white rice and white beans. And now look, everybody can't make white beans.
Right.
But the people that can, now look, everybody's on red beans. Of course, that's like a Monday or a Tuesday thing.
Right.
But I could eat white beans 7 days a week,
So
man.
we've only had, so this is the first time we've had white beans and fried fish is the answer.
Two
We've only
times
had
etouffee.
this is the second etouffee, and I've said this again as I did the first time. If you take that leftover etouffee and stuff it in some crescent rolls or some bread or something, and then bake that, now we're talking business. Fat boy stuff.
Look, man,
I like it.
I ain't gonna
That sounds
deny
so
you that
good.
one.
Make that in some crawfish
While we're
bread.
talking about what to do with it, have you had the swamp fries from Off the Hook yet?
Honestly,
They got the fries. They got that on. I'm only saying it because I ate it last week. They got the pepper jack cheese. I mean, it's like I was excited to eat this stuff.
honestly, I have not ate them yet. But since I have at least 8 ounces of alcohol in my system right now,
You might catch them on the ride.
I might catch one to ride on.
That might be a stop.
Man, I tell you what, man, them things are phenomenal. Like I was super excited while I was eating them. The taste buds were popping. It hit all the levels.
God, I love food.
Oh, no doubt.
I just love food.
So yeah, that sounds pretty good, man. I wasn't kidding. I wasn't a joke. That's probably what I'll do.
No, seriously.
All right, so you're the barbecue. You're the godfather of barbecue here in Terrebonne Parish, and one thing that goes with barbecue is football. I believe you are a two-teamer since you are from both areas. You're a
Right.
Tampa Big Bucks fan and a Saints fan,
Right.
and you know there's a little bit of a rivalry now.
There he is.
Between the two teams. And now, the Tampa Bay Bucks got the one and only Tom Brady.
Yep.
And then the Saints got the other legend,
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Jesus.
They played early in the year. How'd you call that one?
Well, look. Let me
I call the Saints lucky to win that one. I'm a Saints fan. I'm gonna say we're lucky to win that one.
look. Let me tell you like this. So, nobody can hate. Well, I say nobody. Nobody. No. Yeah. you can't hate against Tom Brady. First of all, right?
You should.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, the guy has proven himself. I mean, he's a vet. He's probably 2 years from retirement. He's done. I'm not even sure. I think he has 5. Was it 5 rings?
No, he's got one for the thumb.
Right.
There's a little bit of jewelry.
I remember the last one he won. They said one for the thumb.
Man, for the Tampa folks, that got to be huge,
That's big,
man.
man.
Now, granted, we've seen what happens in later years with quarterbacks like with Brett Favre, and hopefully Brady doesn't have that fate. Maybe he can finish in style, but I mean, what can you do after winning 6 rings? Who has 6 rings?
No.
Is it 6 rings?
Jordan.
Michael Jordan. That's it, baby.
Jordan and Pippen.
And Scottie Pippen.
I mean, so now Brady going to Tampa to me is really cool. I'm a Tampa fan. It would be wrong of you to live anywhere and not be a fan of where you live, right?
Absolutely.
But wherever you're from, you're always going to be
That's
a
your
fan.
hometown team, bro.
Hometown, man. I grew up a Tampa fan back in the day when they had the old logo and everybody was wearing brown
Right.
bags on it.
Huh?
They were doing that here too, right?
That's the Saints thing
Hey,
too.
what was it called? Like creamsicle orange was the colors. Remember those colors with
It
the
was horrible. I
Yeah,
look.
with Vinny
Those are really
Testaverde.
bad.
Those are some bad uniforms.
It's like hot
man.
orange.
They were horrible. The best thing that happened to Vinny is that he actually went to the Jets and they
Right,
could play
Vinny
that
and the
song.
Jets.
That's like the best thing that happened to Vinny and the Jets, right?
Right, baby.
Or Vinny. But no, Vinny was, he did all right in Tampa. But anyways, man, I got love for Tampa. I love the Saints. I mean, you can't live in Louisiana and not love it. I mean, you just can't. let me tell you how I look at the game. So ever since I was a little boy, you know, I'm not some savvy football guy, but Tampa plays the Saints twice a year.
Right.
Yep.
Every year since I can remember.
Yeah.
Right. So the way I look at it is, who needs to win the most, right? So, you know, first game kind of doesn't matter.
Right.
But depending on the, you know, the
Standings
wins.
and what's
Exactly. But by the last game, I'm always going, who do I need to root for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
who's gonna make it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can be neck and neck, not very often.
So let's go there. Feet to the fire. They both need to win in week 17 because they get a bye. Shit, I don't know. They might get 2 byes this year. Anyway, the last
Man,
week
why'd
of
you
the
ask
season-
me this, bro?
Listen.
We asked some
hey,
tough questions here.
This is like before the real tough question. I'm
Yeah.
just peppering you up for real
Yeah.
tough ones.
Yeah.
All right, so we at the end. They both tied, neck and neck. Tom Brady could win the division and get the 1 seed, or they could lose and get the 5. Saints could win and get the 1 seed, or they could lose and get the 5. What's your ultimate scenario that happens in the last week of the season?
So look, I don't normally talk politics, but there's this thing called the Fifth Amendment. And I'm gonna have to leave that right there, man. I'm gonna have to.
He just hopes LSU wins this weekend. That's
Yeah.
what he just told us earlier.
Look, that's a tough question.
I bet it is, because that's both your hearts. You know, you're from Tampa.
Yeah.
You live in Louisiana. You want to see them both succeed. I mean, I know, that's pulling at you. Who's your favorite athlete? If you had one choice, you got to name your favorite athlete of all time. Big Mike. Who you like?
My favorite athlete, for a lot of reasons, is Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons.
I think a lot of people.
Yeah, I like it.
Look, I post a lot on my Facebook page about Mike Tyson. Everybody's like, "You're a Mike Tyson groupie." I am, but honestly, it almost has nothing to do with his fighting ability. Why I'm a fan of him. Mike Tyson was an animal. I mean, he was probably not even the most ethical guy back in the day.
Right.
You know, but if you follow his story, you know, the reason why he's my favorite athlete is because, I mean, you constantly see his growth as a person.
Right.
Yes.
And, you know, that is why I'm a big fan to him, because it's almost like a reflection of just people in general. You know, just like how, you know, you go from, you know, a dumb 19-year-old to a 40-year-old, well, hopefully most people, to somebody that is, you know, learned lessons
A
in
little more
life
mature, right.
and apply it. And you actually see it. If you follow his career, you actually see it.
He's had to overcome a lot of obstacles.
He has.
If you look at him now, I mean, he's in the best place of his life. He's just a happy guy.
He is, but you know, if you follow his story, all of that, you know, really started with, you know, his trainer, Customato, you know, and, you know,
Yeah, that was a big part of his life.
it was, and if he doesn't meet Cuss, you never heard of Mike
He's
Tyson.
probably dead already.
He's dead.
He's dead.
He's gone.
He's
You
gone.
know,
The streets will take him.
Exactly. And
He said that in many interviews that was the only guy that could calm him down and bring him in.
Customato is the reason why Mike Tyson's name today, and really I'd say probably the biggest story is him and Customato, not just Mike Tyson.
Correct.
You know,
And it really messed him up when Costa died.
when he died. That's why you saw Mike Tyson kind of go off the beaten path, and
right.
he's around the wrong people, and Don King came in,
Yep.
and all of
Scooped him
that.
in.
Exactly. But now fast forward, you look today, and Mike Tyson has just gotten humble and more humble. And
He went on Joe Rogan twice, I believe, and that is some of the best podcasts I've ever seen. And
Yeah.
like he talks about that. He talks about like coming up and Cosmo, taking him under, and what he did, how far he fell off after, and all that stuff. It was really cool. If you haven't checked that out, go look at that one.
I hadn't seen it, but what I can tell you, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I'm not some big, I couldn't, shoot out for many of the sports I like, all these statistics.
Yeah.
But I follow the people, and I can tell you, I already think that probably Mike is one of the greatest of all time, or
For
maybe
sure.
even the greatest of all time. But
Hands down.
Custom Model alive for his whole run during boxing, he's certainly the greatest of all time.
It's a different story.
It's a
total
whole-
different
it's a
story. He never
whole
goes to
different-
jail. It's a
it's a
total
big time.
different
It's a
story.
whole different story, and I've seen every fight that Tyson fight, and off the cuff, I can't remember every single one that he lost. So of course, everybody knows the Evander Holyfield and the Buster Douglas,
Right.
and I want to say Tyson lost probably a total of 5 fights, maybe even 6 that he lost, but it was all in that period after the whole Robin Givens thing.
Correct, yeah.
And just kind of going off the
messed up.
rails.
The Miss
Yeah.
USA, Black USA.
His head wasn't there.
Not working out before, fights.
Never did Mike Tyson lose a fight because Mike Tyson couldn't fight.
Right.
Right.
He
Mike
lost the
Tyson
fight
lost
because
the
his
fight
head
because
was somewhere else, or
But if you saw that last fight that he fought before he officially gave it up, man, he fought really a nobody. I can't even remember the guy's name. But I remember looking at his face when that guy put him on the floor, and I go, yeah, that's the guy that just gave up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was done.
he's just done
I'll
with
tell
it.
you what.
He's gonna fight Roy Jones, you think?
No, he is.
That's
Yeah.
like some kind of.
I tell you what, I've been watching the training videos that he's putting out, and that fire is back in his eyes. I mean, it is scary.
So-
The guy's
Roy
old.
Jones is a lot smaller, though.
Yeah, they fought in 2 different weight classes, and currently Mike is bigger than Roy. I think Roy might have a longer reach and yada yada
Roy
yada.
Jones was a bad dude back in the day, bro.
Look, Roy Jones ain't nothing to joke about.
no,
But-
this guy was an animal,
But let
bro.
me tell you the difference, though. Like, well, even though they were in different classes, the difference between the reason why they're actually a good pair, because Roy Jones is a long range fighter.
Right.
Mike Tyson's an
He's an
inside
ins-
guy.
yeah.
So that's going to be
Style
a very
versus style.
It's gonna be
Styles
a-
make fights.
exactly. That's going to be a very interesting fight.
It'll be fun to watch.
Very because the way Roy's going to fight, the only way Roy can even beat him, and of course, it's an exhibition fight, right?
Yeah.
But Mike Tyson's not looking at it that way. So, yeah, Mike Tyson's.
No, he's a warrior.
Yeah, he's a warrior, right? So the only way Roy Jones beats Mike Tyson is by fighting him long range. If he lets Mike get in there, it's a wrap.
over with.
It's
That
a
is
wrap.
rough. I mean, some of those punches he's throwing. I mean, he's hitting the bag like he was 18 years old. Jesus
Savage,
Christ, it's
bro.
nasty.
All right, so you have a business here. You're home a boy. You know, your dad's here. That was part of your passion. What do you like to see in home at Terrebonne Parish? You know, anything in the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you like to see Terrebonne Parish grow?
Well, first of all, wholeheartedly, to me, this is the best place to live, right?
I like that.
I'm gonna cheers you on that.
Yeah,
We
like-
cheers a couple times tonight, but I like
A
it.
lot of people say, but look, hey, at the end of the day, it's a nice place to live.
What I want to see happen in Terrebonne Parish, man, is I want us to get, just stay on the path of going forward and being one of those cities that people want to go to. Like, I mean, you look at places that's doing it well, like Austin, and they got the good food scene, the bar scene,
Constant growth.
Constant growth, and I think we can get there.
Yeah.
And we're going there. That would be my vision for where we live. You guys are doing great things here. And we have a lot of homegrown businesses here that is just making that happen. But I'm a foodie. I'm really a foodie, and I like to travel and eat. I like to go different states, and
I have noticed that on your Instagram and Facebook and stuff. You go all over. You try different places.
I go all
food
over
and everywhere.
But what I like, of course, the food. You love the food, but what I love about going different places is just to see the vibe
Right.
that different areas have, and we're definitely right for that type of environment. And that's one of the reasons why, with this new location that we have on 311 and Polk Street, that I'm just at every cost, I want to put the right thing there at the right time for the community.
Right.
anybody from this area that's in business, they're trying to do that. They're
Yeah,
trying to be the best they can for what they do, and trying to provide
the best for the community.
the best. I'm telling you.
So let me ask you a hard question. Can you name a place that's like your favorite barbecue outside of Big Mike's Barbecue?
Hell to the yeah.
Can you? What is
Look.
it? Oh, this is good. I want to know. And I'm going there next week.
I don't think you're gonna go because it's kind of far. But look, all the barbecue places around here are great, right? But let me tell you, it sounds weird, but one of the things when I go to a barbecue restaurant, I'm actually looking to leave there disappointed.
Right.
Not in them, of me.
Okay.
Right?
That's a pretty good way to look at it.
Right. I'm not.
What am I doing wrong?
Right. When I travel around to barbecue places, I want to leave there
That's a good way
disappointed
to look
in
at
me.
it, bro.
Like, damn,
Not
why?
them.
Like, kind of like why I didn't do that.
Right. Or man, I've been working this potato salad for 20 years, but it don't taste like this potato salad.
Yeah.
So my goal when I leave a barbecue joint, I'm not there to critique them. I'm there to critique me. Right.
Wow, that's a cool way to look at it.
And that's the God's honest truth. So that's why I say, like, I try to go to every barbecue joint I can. Matter of fact, recently, I've been to what I guess most would consider a chain. I went to Jim and Nick's in I don't even remember where we were at. We kind of got off the interstate. We were lost. It was like, oh, there's a barbecue restaurant. Let's eat there.
Barbecue.
But we were actually going to a barbecue restaurant, but we still stopped there and ate, right? So, but that's what we do, right? So we stopped at Jim and Nick's. Bro, I'm telling you, they had the best potato salad that I've ever tasted in my life.
Really?
When I went there, I was like, now granted, you go to a barbecue restaurant, who talks about potato salad, right?
I like potato salad on
Right.
barbecue though.
But Brian, it was banging, right? So when I left there, I'm like, oh God, I got work to do. I want to leave somebody's restaurant feeling that way, right?
Yeah.
And but the place we were intending on going was in Tuscaloosa. We went to Dreamland Barbecue, right?
All right.
And
Fit the Dreamland Barbecue.
and I mean, they had some phenomenal ribs. I mean, phenomenal. And I've been, my goal is to hit every barbecue place you can. I've been to Black's. I've been to Truth. I've been to. Well, I'm going to get back to your original question, like where has been some of the places that you really like. And so I always say there's two of them, right? So one of them is Big John's Alabama Barbecue, which is actually in Tampa, Florida.
Wow.
And I grew up eating there, and it's actually what inspired me to
I was
do
about to say, it
barbecue.
might be the inspiration.
Yeah, it was Big John's
That's what lit the
Alabama.
fire in Big Mike, huh?
Look, my wife, we can go there and she loves the food, but she may not like the sauce. But I love the sauce. The sauce is like phenomenal to me. But that just goes to show you how we all have different opinions. And then recently we went to Texas. I can't remember where we were at in Texas, but a place called the Pit Room in Texas.
You've traveled along and everywhere and eaten all over. Is there that big of a difference of Texas barbecue, North Carolina barbecue, Louisiana barbecue,
Kansas City?
So two places I haven't been is the Carolinas and Kansas City.
I haven't eaten South Carolina barbecue. Pretty
Now,
good.
Kansas City's supposed to be good stuff.
I'm familiar with both the styles.
I've heard Kansas City barbecue is phenomenal.
Yeah, but you know what? All the barbecue restaurants I've been to, I can tell you that I've hardly ever been disappointed with anybody.
It's like you said, you grew up with that passion. So these people that putting out barbecue, doesn't matter where you're from or where you grew up, it's your passion.
It's
barbecue.
passion.
Barbecue doesn't change that much. Like you said, you put protein over fire.
Fire and smoke. I mean,
Smoke, baby.
I
There's a lot more that goes into it.
I can honestly,
That's the basics of it.
I can honestly say I've probably been to 60 barbecue restaurants,
It's impressive.
maybe more. And I can tell you, there's been less than a handful of times that I've ever walked out and like, well, what were they thinking?
All right. So, kind of touched on it a little bit. It sparked my mind.
food trucks is a big thing, and like you touched on it a little bit on your Facebook page a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of chimed in, and we kind of talked about it on Between the Barrels a few times with a couple of guests
through social media,
and you kind of passionate about it too, because you kind of said it a little bit earlier. Some of the sketchier places that you can go eat at, it's probably some of the best ones. And let me tell you, some of the best food I've ever had, especially around the country, in Texas and different places like that, has come from a food truck.
Right.
And I mean, do you think that Houma could support a few food trucks? And I think it would be beneficial around here.
Well, here's the way I look at it. I think it just needs to be open so that, and I mean, you can't have a food truck here.
Yeah.
However,
Can't be downtown.
there's a lot of restrictions about it, and then you got to have a commissary. You have to have where you can dispense old cooking grease and yada yada yada.
A lot of restrictions.
There's some restrictions that could hold some people up, and maybe rightfully so. I don't know what all those restrictions are, but I do know that I've had people call me personally and be like, "Hey, look, I want to have a food truck. I want to do this, but they're requiring me to have some type of commissary kitchen where,
Right.
Again, I don't know all the rules, but here's what I can tell you."
There's a lot of turnoffs.
Right, exactly, and there's a reason why you don't see 3 or 4 food trucks parked,
Correct.
Downtown or here or there or wherever.
It's not because somebody hasn't thought of it.
Well,
It's because of the laws and the stipulations.
I think no matter what we feel about food trucks, it's a business that somebody, if they decide to, should be able to do.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree too.
Right. So I mean, it's a business. It's a legitimate
should
business.
support
You know what? If they could cook and make a better option of food than someone in a restaurant, then I mean, it is what it is. And the restaurant guy maybe needs to look at it and go, "Hey, you know what? I need to up my game because those guys in the food truck are doing it big time, and people are going to eat there." So, I mean, it's just competition, which breeds better results.
So the cool thing is when we're in Austin, man, these things were everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Texas is big.
it's big, and I think I don't know. At the end of the day, I think for us to become a trendy place where people want to move to is we got to be willing to do what the big cities are doing.
Yeah.
Yes, I
And
agree 100%.
that's all tax revenue and so on. And so
On
on.
our own scale, we do it. We do it like Terrebonne Parish does things, but I mean, we should be able to
We got
do
our
things
own
on our
levy. We
table.
should be able to do our own thing.
So we're gonna wrap things up.
So we're gonna wrap it up with
Yeah.
the Hog Father, the Pit Master. Do you play Pedro?
What the hell
Have
is
you heard of
Pedro?
Pedro?
What the hell is
It's
Pedro?
Pedro, man. I've heard the name, but I don't know what it is.
Pedro's a card game that's very popular amongst the Cajun people. It's it's kind of like spades, but the 2 5s are called the Pedros. Kind of makes it Cajun and shit, and they were at 5 points each. So it makes you want to go get it.
You have been the most.
We play Pedro like a lot every Wednesday over here when we're done. And so our final question is always, do you play cutthroat or follow suit? So apparently you grew up a lot in Tampa and you didn't know about the card game when they were throwing the Pedro down, bro.
But look,
What you know about Pedro?
honestly, I don't know about Pedro, but I do know about Uno, and drawing fours and,
Yeah, I could play some Uno now.
and all that kind of stuff.
it.
So hey, look, we really appreciate you coming.
Super
Between the
honored,
Barrels,
bro.
man. This was a fun episode. One I've been looking forward to for a long time.
Absolutely.
I really
Yes.
appreciate having you here and meeting you and sitting down and talk to you. Thanks for
Cool.
coming.
It was
Appreciate
great
your
being
insight,
here.
dude.
And I
The
can't
food's
wait
great.
to.
We love you.
I'm sure in the next week I'll have your barbecue. Go there often, once a week at least.
Season 2 guest already, Big Mike. We're going to do with it.
Thank you guys, man. And the alcohol was great, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks to Noah, the
Big
Mike
shout out to
Terrebonne
Noah,
Distillers. As always,
Chris,
provide
Nick,
the
Fire
fine
Terrebonne
spirits.
Distillery. We love them 3 amigos. But
Yeah, man.
Perfect.
It's awesome.
All right.
So, from
We're
us,
good.
Between the Barrels. Oh, wait, one thing. Who we got next week?
Next week we got the South Louisiana Veterans Outreach Program. November 11th is Veterans Day, so the boys are going to come in here. They're going to talk about what they're doing good, and we might do some push-ups. We kick boards.
Somebody told me about push-ups.
Maybe Manny's going to do 22 push-ups. Don't even start about it. We're going to see about it next week.
They gonna play Pedro.
Hey, we might not. But I'm Chad. That's Manny.
We out,
Big
baby.
Mike. We out, baby.
This was awesome, bro.
Thank y'all, man.